Hello, in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make a main menu system in like 5 minutes. Now I'm not going to be focusing on UI because I'll just show you how to script it. You still want the same setup though, or if you just want to modify it a little bit. But if you just don't know how to code or you want to learn to, I highly recommend looking at the video in the description. It just goes over like a bunch of basics, and I think it could help you out a ton. But now that you're ready, let's go ahead and go into started UI. Let's make a screen GUI and a frame. This will be like the background for a main menu. So in size, just press 1, enter, and we could probably like make it translucent and like lower the color. Yeah, something like this. And before you continue in the screen GUI that you put the main menu in, you want to make sure that this ignore guild set, however you pronounce it, I don't really care. You want to make sure this is toggled on, because if it's off and then you run the game, at the top it's not going to cover this top bar where you have like your settings, chat, and some other stuff. So I would turn that on so it just covers the whole screen like what it's shown. Now in this frame we're probably going to need a title, so we'll probably put it right here or something. You could just modify this however you want, but we will mainly need a button. And this will be like the play button, and you might have like another button for like credits or some other frame that you want to open. But here we can just put the text as play and put this one as credits, or just whatever you want. We also need to name the actual instance, or Roblox won't know what button you're talking about. So like this, play credits. And this one we can call like the background. And then we can have a second frame, and this will be the credits frame. We can just make it really big, something like this, and we can call this one credits. And then we're going to need a button inside of this one, and this will be the close button. So just a text button right here. We can just put the X and then make it red. Yep, something like this. And then for the credits visibility, we can turn this off. And if you're trying to work on your game, you obviously don't want this main menu in the way, so you can also just turn off the visibility for the background. Now that we have the UI set up, we can go ahead and create a local script, and this will be our manager. First thing we want to do is get some variables. So the background, let's get that is script.parent.background, and let's get the credits. So credits is equal to script.parent.credits. Let's also get the player. So first, let's get the player service. So players is equal to game get service players, the actual player. So players equal to players.local player. Let's also get the character. So local character is equal to player.character. And just as a second check extra, you can put or player.character added, and we'll just wait for it to add. This is if the client loads before the server. I don't know how it works, but just as a just in case thing. But now let's go ahead and script everything now that we have our variables. Now the first thing you want to do is let's go ahead and make the visibility for the background to true, and let's anchor the player so they can't move. So character, wait for child, humanoid, root part dot anchored, and we'll just set this to true. So basically what that does is just in players there's like an invisible part, and once that's anchored, you can't move. I'm trying to move right now, so it works for both R6 and R15, so you don't have to worry about that. But now let's go ahead and code everything. So first let's get the play button, so background.play, and since it is a text button, it will have special functions that check for whenever you click. So if you say dot mouse button one click, this checks for whenever the player like left clicks on it or taps on it on mobile, so you don't have to worry about support. And we'll connect this to an anonymous function, and here we just want to say background.visible is equal to false, basically just the opposite of these two. So if we just copy it here, we can just set both of these to false. That is pretty much it. Now let's go ahead and code the credits. So background.credits.mouse button one click. We'll connect this to another function, and here we can just say credits.visible is equal to true, and then we get the credits. Let's get that close button. Mouse button one click. Connect this to a third function. Credits.visible is equal to false. And that is really pretty much it. It's just 24 lines of code. If you go ahead and run this, you have your main menu, you have your title. If you click on credits, there we go, it will show our credits. We can press on X, and then we can play the game, and we can now move. Now if you have the credits frame, like if I go ahead and make the visibility true, if you have it where you can still press the credit buttons and you want to make this a toggle, I've seen some people make it like really complex, but you can just do it in one line of code, which is instead of true, you can say not credits dot visible, and this is just a really good way to toggle it by just saying not and then the same thing. But that is pretty much it. If you have any suggestions, you can go ahead and leave a comment. And if you just want to chat with the community or show off your creations and just all of that stuff in general, my Discord server link will also be in the description. Other than that, I hope you have a good day or night, and goodbye.